Good morning, and welcome to another Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. That time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while also answering its questions. And if you are here watching this, I assume you are one of the pieces of humanity that wrote in with a question. But one of you wrote in with five questions, and we're going to get to those immediately following this break. So you've got like 5 seconds of looking at a fish to guess who that was. Smoking a Legend with HH Old Dark Fired Ready Rubbed in there from Typing Piper. And you're right, if you guessed Typing Piper, you are right. Typing Piper is very prolific with his questions. And we're just going to move him to the front of the line this week. He's not a girl, and none of these were marked as spam. Probably, I've noticed that the comments that get marked as spam are the ones that are most complimentary. Hey, love your channel. Spam. Definitely spam. No one would ever actually say that if they weren't a Russian troll. Speaking of Russian trolls, Typing Piper asks, did Trump end the shutdown because Roger Stone was arrested? Of course. Yes, that's exactly why that. I mean, I know that there are many of you out there that don't like it when I talk about this stuff, right? It's just not. It gets on your nerves, right? I understand that, but this is a question, and I have promised to answer any question that anyone leaves in the comments below with the hashtag AskGribbs. I have to. I'm bound by the rules to talk about this, and yes, that was absolutely Donald Trump's motivation for ending the shutdown. I'm sure it was a contingency plan, anyway, but the timing could not have been better for getting the public's mind off of the fact that his intimate associate, Roger Stone, well, let's just say that Nixon tramp stamp is going to look really nice in the prison shower rooms. I don't know what kind of offensive joke that was, but I'm sure that was an offensive joke, so I'm going to brush that aside and move on to plugging my Instagram account, which is how do I make the at symbol? It's at Gribbly's Folly. You should be familiar with that by now. At Gribbly's Folly on Instagram. I am posting a photo every day from my adventures out there in the woods. I shirked my duties as a citizen. I don't want to deal with any of this stuff anymore. That's why I run a YouTube channel where people ask me about politics. The point is, I went to the woods because I had to have something to do, and thereby producing lots of photos. And I'm doing a 365-day project over there at Instagram at Gribbly's Folly. Go check it out. This is like in my top 3 tobaccos. Old Dark Fired Ready Rubbed, or just Old Dark Fired. Either way, I can't tell the difference. Man, they're just awesome. So, as a follow-up, Typing Piper asks, do you think Oliver Stone will make the Roger Stone movie? No? I think that's going to be a Spike Lee joint. Typing Piper asks Gribbs, you have a fever but no cowbell? You know what? Screw you, Typing Piper. I worked in a music store for 10 years and I'm tired of that joke. I'm tired of all those guys that would come in and they would find the cowbell and they would be like, clonk, clonk, clonk. I got a fever. Like, shut up, man. This is like the 10th time today. Typing Piper asks Gribbs, if Russia's economy is no larger than an EU country, are we at war with what we should consider a white trash country? Listen, you carpetbagging Yankee, white trash is an offensive term to be thrown around, especially to us Southerners, right? There's so many levels at which I can attack this question. We're not at war. We're not at war. If we go to war with Russia, we'll all know about it. However, the de-ratification of the nuclear treaty is a little bit frightening. I don't know if Putin just turned the gear in Trump's back a little too tightly. I don't know what exactly happened there, but I'm sure that it was planned. I believe Trump has been talking about that for a couple of years now, so it's not like it's a new thing. But yeah, that seems to benefit no one but Russia. So, Typing Piper asks Gribbs, at what point should we start learning how to eat with chopsticks? I know how to eat with chopsticks. I'm good at it. And eat weird shit like sea cucumbers. What is a sea cucumber? Sea cucumber. Facts. Sea cucumbers belong to the group of animals. Wait, but they're cucumbers. But they're animals? Called echinoderms. Echinoderms. I don't know. Their closest relatives are starfish and sea urchins. I'm not eating that. Who would eat a starfish? Plus, this thing doesn't even look like a cucumber. It looks like a worm. What is wrong? Who eats these? Okay. Who eats sea cucumbers? A wide range of marine predators target sea cucumbers. Among primary stalkers of sea cucumbers are crab, various fish, crustaceans, sea turtles, and sea stars. I don't see humans on this list. Predators of the sea cucumber. Habitat. Primary sea. Humans. One of the sea cucumber's most fearsome predators is a land-based creature, Homo sapiens. Dun, dun, dun. Humans, being in many parts of the world, covet the sea cucumber as a food source. Who covets a cucumber that looks like a worm and is related to a starfish? Typing Piper, hashtag AskGribs. If voting in the next election is participating in China and Russia rigging our elections, is it more American to say fuck it and have a beer at home and not vote in 2020? Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. To answer any question that begins, is it more American to, we must first decide what is American. What exactly makes an action American? Is it more American to vote or not to vote? And I think that the answer to this question can be approached from different aspects. And the aspect that I choose to approach it with, from the aspect, the perspective that I'm taking on this question is that America, this isn't our country anymore. That there may be Americans left, but that America as an institution, no, not anymore. Probably ended on 9/11 or closely thereafter. You could make the case that it ended. You could make the case that it ended in 2016, I think. But I mean, that would be the case that I would like to make, because of course that befits my ego, right? I was in 2016, I could have been president myself. I was so old, right? So I like to look back on my youth and think, oh, those heady days right after 9/11, that was still America. I think in any objective sense, when you get to like the Patriot Act point, you have to say, America might not be dead, but it's got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. You know what I mean? And by the time you get to 2016, when both candidates for president are basically folks who've committed treason, it's not our country anymore. I think that America can no longer be considered America when our national character no longer aligns with American values. And American values, I mean, that's tough because, I mean, pre-1860, those values included slavery, right? So you gotta be careful there. But we fought a war over that, and the people that lost the war were very definitely not Americans. So I think that, you know, in spite of all the terrible shit that happened after that, the Jim Crow era, Reconstruction, anytime between like 1865 and maybe like 1990-ish, somewhere in there, for better or worse, those are what real American values are. And I would think that it'd be, it'd be fair game to say laissez-faire economics, very, very limited federal government, lots of civil liberties, industrial might. What are other? I don't know about military policing, like militarily policing the world, but a global leader in world politics, which we still are, but it doesn't matter without the moral character coming from the laissez-faire economics and the civil liberties. So I mean, you know, a republic in the poli-sci sense, and I guess you could make the case that we're still a republic, I think we're on really thin ice with that. Really thin ice. I think that there's, I mean, in North Carolina, there was a voter fraud case that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the minute that the electorate loses faith in the electoral process, I don't know. So, is the America of 2019 the same as the America of 1975? Hell no. For better or worse. And most of us, when we say, you know, America, we don't think of America right now. Like, we're all pissed off. Whether you love the administration, hate the administration, we're all pissed off right now because we feel like the country is going in a wrong direction. And when everybody feels that way, it's not America anymore. I think what Typing Piper is really asking here is, what do I think we should do at the voting booth or not at the voting booth in 2020? I don't know. I have no idea. That's not my bag anymore, baby. I am not in the, I never was, but I am definitely not in the business of telling people what they should do with their vote. And, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I haven't really thought about it. 2020 is a long time away, and a lot's going to happen. I'm so excited that Hillary's not ruling it out. I would really love to see a repeat of 2016. That would be. The Mindful Pipe. Moving on. Thank you, Typing Piper, for your questions. The Mindful Pipe, hashtag AskGribs. I showed this video to my wife and she was amused, but she also asked a very relevant question. This was on my midwinter rant about moving the fridge. Why didn't he just measure the fridge before getting it in the car? Yes, that is a good question. The answer is rather embarrassing, which is that I did measure the fridge and I knew it wouldn't fit, but somehow I was so hopeful about getting a refrigerator at no cost that I just discarded the half-inch difference. I was like, oh, come on, we'll be able to just squeeze it in there. It'll be fine. The fridge in the neighbor's house was up on shims to keep it off the basement floor, like little tiny shims, and I thought, that's a half an inch. It ended up being like a quarter of an inch. I was off by like a quarter of an inch of getting that thing in there. And yeah, but we have a fridge now. Thank you for your question, Johan, or your wife's question. Yeah, it did illustrate my, the older I get, the more I realize how bad I am at basic things, like measuring. Like, I mean, not that I didn't measure, I just didn't care. I was like, yeah, it's close enough. But it wasn't. It wasn't close enough. Why did I think it would be close enough? A fridge is not a squishy thing. Neither is a wall. What was I think? It doesn't matter. But yeah, I feel like I wouldn't have made that mistake as a younger man, but now I'm just like, whatever. Whatever. All right, over a pipe. Ask Gribs, which would you rather have? A house full of sick people in the middle of winter, or to be snowed in with only toaster strudels to eat? That sounds like the same thing to me. Kid Electrolux asks Gribs, when I hear someone refer to New York as the Big Apple, I write them off as a human being. They should be made to eat chunks of New York masonry until they admit through broken teeth that it is not an apple. You're a very passionate guy, Kid Electrolux. Why is it called the Big Apple? Well, I did some research, and a sports writer named John J. Fitzgerald in the 1920s is the guy that coined the phrase Big Apple. And then some other sports writers and other writers started using the phrase in the 20s and 30s. But it fell out of favor until the CVB in New York City, the the Chamber of Commerce, basically, Visitors Bureau, whatever. Some uppity-ups in New York City brought it back as a marketing campaign in the 60s and 70s. And that's why we still call New York the Big Apple. Does that sound like I just made that up? Because it pretty much... Okay. Does Mrs. Gribs watch these vids? Sometimes. Sometimes I can get her to watch some videos. And her general opinion is that she doesn't really know why any of this happens, but she finds it mildly entertaining. Road Glide Sully asks Gribbs the age-old question we have all pondered most of our adolescent and adult lives: which is better, crunchy or creamy peanut butter? If you knew the amount of tension that this question causes in my house, you would not have brought it up for fear of rubbing salt in my wounds. I'm not much for gender stereotypes, but clearly, crunchy peanut butter is better for men. Children and women can eat their creamy peanut butter, that's fine. But as a man who must interface with the practical realities of life, I will say that creamy peanut butter is often the safer choice because everyone in the house can eat it. I mean, everyone in the house can eat it, but creamy peanut can eat crunchy too, right? But everyone in the house can eat creamy peanut butter without complaining. Northern Bohemian returns to a topic from last week's video. Who is the worst person in history? A question posed by none other than Derek Tant. And Norbo says, Dick Cheney. I come from the Ed John and Jeffrey Dahmer state, and I assure you that Dick Cheney was the most evil person in history. I don't know about that, Norbo. I think that objectively, as much as I am not a fan, I mean, I just saw Vice. Right? I saw the movie. I know all the stuff. No, I lived through it. I know all the stuff that Dick Cheney did. Actually, I did learn a few things from the movie, but I felt that the movie fell short of greatness. Anyway, it could have been great, but it was just like it never quite set the hook. You know, anyway. No, Stalin was way worse than Dick Cheney. But I want to revise my answer from last week because I actually read everything there is to read on Ted Bundy, meaning Wikipedia. And I'm pretty sure he or someone like him was the worst person. Like, I think that like Stalin, of course, killed millions, but he did it remotely. He did it through orders to others. I think to actually kill people and then do the things to their bodies that Ted Bundy did, or Jeffrey Dahmer or someone like that, I think one of those individuals would be the worst person in history. I just finished moments ago the last chapter of I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara on the Golden State Killer, who we now know is Joseph James D'Angelo, I think is his name, who was arrested last year. Still has not gone to trial. He's allegedly the Golden State Killer. That guy is pretty bad. If that is indeed who it is, I hope that he never sees the light of day again, because some of the stuff he did was really, really rough. And he had a small penis. Chase asked Gribbs, have you had brown sugar Pop-Tart cereal? No, I did not even know this was a thing. Let me get on Amazon and order a pallet. Okay, I'm not kidding. I got on Amazon. There's one box left, but it's $10. It's a family-sized box. $10 for a box of cereal? I mean, do you know how many actual brown sugar Pop-Tarts I could get for $10? Come on. There's got to be like can I get a used box or something? Come on, Bezos has enough of my money already. No, I haven't had it. I'm going to have to look for it at the store. Maybe it'll be less than $10. Also, that chalice looks like something Dark Helmet would use while watching radar. Yep. The Dark Helmet chalice. Contemplative Piper, formerly known as Just Some Dude. This is my question. In a post-apocalyptic world filled with irradiated monsters and communists, would you rather happen upon... I saw a bunch of communists today. It was really lame. It was really, really lame. I can't really go into detail about the context. Yeah, I can. It was at a protest, and man, it was like the lamest protest ever. It was really, really, yeah. I won't be bitter about it, but I wish communists would just be professionals, like be good at protesting. That anyway. I mean, the only people worse than protesting that I've seen than communists are like, well, I mean, far-right conservatives. They're really bad. Like they're gonna make a sign, right? And they write like everything out in like 8-point type right up here, and then they've got this huge blank sign. I've seen that happen over and over, and I'm just like, Why did you buy the whole poster board? Like, just get a freaking like wallet size sign. Why did you do like? Is it you just your brain doesn't work that way? Anyway, there's a lot of groups out there that they don't get the whole protest thing. And if you're a reporter, you cover a lot of protests, and and protests all look the same after a while. But you do notice the difference between the groups that are like professional protesters. And anyway, this has nothing to do with the question. If you were in a post-apocalyptic world filled with irradiated monsters and communists, would you rather to happen upon a rocket launcher with a dozen rockets or a crate of grenades? That really depends on how many grenades are in a crate. Let's find out. How many grenades are in a crate? M67 grenade box. How many grenades would that hold? 30 grenades. Okay. I'm going to go with the grenades on this because, number one, you've got more than double the amount, right? And number two, grenades are really more versatile than rocket launchers, like highly more versatile, because grenades, well, a rocket launcher, number one, has a backblast, so you can't shoot it indoors. Not that you really want to be setting grenades off indoors, but if you have, like, I don't know, friends, I mean, we're talking about a zombie apocalypse scenario here, so I assume you're a prepper, so you probably don't have any friends. But if you have a friend behind you when you launch the rocket, that friend is toast, right? So grenades can be delivered without destroying any of your comrades. And then depending on what caused the zombie outbreak, the toasted friend might come back as a zombie, right? Like if it's not a viral thing, if it's like a supernatural thing, yeah, you might have, now you got a zombie on your six that's like half burnt with his eyeball like oozing out of his head. So I'm gonna go with grenades. You can set traps with grenades, tripwires, all kinds of stuff. And because they generally deliver, I mean, a rocket launcher is different from a rocket propelled grenade is the other thing. So I would just need more specifics here. But I think that a grenade would be, and plus you can share the grenades. If you got 30, right, and you're a prepper, but let's say you've got a prepper comrade. Well, that's a communist. All right, so you're Hannibal, and Howlin' Mad Murdoch is over here. You can be like, here, Murdoch, here's some grenades. Whereas you could just be like, here's some rockets, but I'm keeping the launcher. Like, that doesn't work. Contemplative Piper's follow-up question. Have you seen the interview with Yuri Bozeman? He is a former Russian operative. How long before he gets a little pill of polonium 695 or whatever it is shoved up under the back of his ear or something like that? Yuri Bozeman. Let's Google him. I have not seen the interview, and so I'm going to... oh. No, that's an address in Bozeman, Montana. Well, I'll bookmark that and come back to it at a later time with my virtual private network so that Russian hackers cannot find me as I'm watching the Russian dissident tell me all the secrets of Russia. Robert Dixon, hashtag AskGribs. Will Carolina win the Lord Stanley again in our lifetime ever? Stand by while I Google all that. The Lord Stanley, high-ceilinged pub with tiled exterior, wooden floors, Beer Garden, 51 Camden Park Road, London. How does one win the Lord Stanley? I'm guessing if we remove the Lord Stanley, Frederick Stanley, 16th Earl of Derby. So if you win a soapbox derby, do you win the Lord Stanley? What is a Lord Stanley? Oh, Lord Stanley Cup. Look at that. 20 things you might not know about the Stanley Cup. The championship trophy awarded annually to the National Hockey League. This is about hockey. I finally get it. Okay, using the data mining power of the internet, I have discovered there is a hockey team called the Carolina Hurricanes, which I think is very offensive. That's a terrible mascot. Hurricanes suck in Carolina. Latest champion of the Stanley Cup is the Washington Capitals. Current holder, Washington Capitals, blah, 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 blah. Winners, Pittsburgh Penguins. That's cute. Chicago Blackhawks. Los Angeles Kings, 45 more. I'm not, whoa, 2006? Carolina Hurricanes? That's only like, what, like 12 years ago? Yeah, of course they can win again in our lifetimes. I mean, it looks like they're in the last 19 years. Why wouldn't they? I mean, I hear they've got really good skates and sticks, and they like to check. They double check. So before you leave this video, go down below to the description and click on the link that I'm sure I will forget to put there to Dale Piper's giveaway. I think it's his 400 and some odd subscriber giveaway. Dale Piper's Sherlock Holmes mystery giveaway. And the way that you win this giveaway is to solve the mystery. Right? But of course, I'm going to solve the mystery, so you guys don't even really need to try. However, you might want to tune in just to watch me win. But yeah, so Dale Piper, he gives us clues, and we have to figure out what's in a box. You should definitely go check it out. It's pretty cool. I'm happy to report that things are looking up in the Gribbs household. We're all getting better. We have a working refrigerator. Life is returning to some sense of normalcy. Did I ever have a sense of normalcy? I don't, like, when was the last time I just sat around and thought, man, things are really normal right now? Like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Somebody said it. Life is happening. I will admit, just because I like to have some honesty in each of these Sunday Anti-Socials, I will admit that I'm struggling with wintertime depression. It's a thing. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed that it's winter. And just, I'm self-employed and my job really slows down in the winter. And so not only am I broke, I'm also like broke and bored. And the weather's bad. And every day is the same. And I don't like running at idle. I need to be going at my maximum speed, which is like at least 20 miles an hour. And I'm going fishing tomorrow, and I'm probably not going to catch anything. But I'm playing a lot of Minecraft, and that definitely, nothing helps depression like reading about serial killers and staring at your computer for 8 hours a day. But we will carry on, even if we won't keep calm. I thank you for watching. I will see you next week. If not before, I don't have a lot of content. It's true. I don't, but I have this one thing that's stuck on the wrong device, and I'm trying to get it uploaded, but I hope it'll get. Who wants me now? Someone's sending me messages. Come on. Wait, don't go. What do you mean, wait, don't go? Who are you well, I guess I better deal with this. All right, so keep the ends out for the ties that bind.